Tuesday, August 22nd. Welcome back to the Damon Bruce Show here on Damon Bruce Plus, the Plus, baby. It's so good to have you here. Thank you so much for stopping by. And as the thumbnail suggested, straight out of Raiders in the Lost Ark, we're going to be talking about meltdowns, the Giants meltdown, and how Kyle Harrison just feels like maybe too little too late to come and save what is a season that is falling apart. But we're going to start with what is the biggest story in the Bay until it's not, and that's Nick Bosa. Still not signed by the San Francisco 49ers, and they can go about pretending that this is all normal and standard operating procedure and nothing to see here as much as they want. I'm starting to not believe them. Now, this can go from a really big story to no story at all as soon as he signs that contract. So let's make that happen. They've been budgeting for this for the last 2 or 3 seasons. Nick Bosa and this situation have snuck up on no one, which makes the whole thing odd at this point, if we're being completely honest about it. This is not sneaking up on anybody. Their quarterback room, the rest of this entire roster was constructed with this moment in mind, knowing that it was coming. The Niners want to sell you the illusion of this is business as usual. No, I'm sorry. This is unusual now. We're drifting into the lane of this is unusual, and this might get concerning if it's not taken care of by Friday, which is the last chance to even get him out there. Look at it this way. Were you to sign him today, would you even play him on Friday? Probably not. So he's going to get 0 preseason game snaps, which probably is something that is very easy to live through for Nick Bosa, but he's got to get out there and start feeling some NFL on his body through practices and being in that locker room and getting around his teammates and getting in front of his new defensive coordinator, Steve Wilks. What are we waiting for? Get Nick Bosa signed. This is the best player that the team has had since Patrick Willis, okay? The best player that they've had. He is going to go to the Hall of Fame one day if he stays healthy. That's who he is. Sign him. We know what the contract should look like, will look like. So what the hell are we talking about? Get that done. Get that done. Get it done today if you are the San Francisco 49ers. Speaking of today, hey, this is a sip of the day right off the rip. That was a good one. I like that. That was a really, really good one. Sorry if anyone had the over and we went way too long there, not even close to going long. Oh, wait a minute. Sip of the day, over under 11 minutes and 15 seconds. Oh, we came in way under. So there you go. It is an Ohtani Tuesday. Thank you very much, Erwin. You're right about that. And we'll do a little something later on to celebrate the Ohtani Tuesday that is around us once again. It is a day where the San Francisco Giants are going to use this Tuesday to start feeling good about the rest of their year, or this will be one of those days that just feels like the bottom falling out. But before we get there, one more NFL note to share along to Raiders fans who are watching here today. Josh Jacobs is expected to end his holdout soon, which is good news for the Las Vegas Raiders. They open with the Broncos on September 10th. The Las Vegas Journal-Review reports that the 25-year-old who's been away from the team since he and the Raiders couldn't agree on a long-term contract just before the July 17th franchise tag deadline. Well, Jacobs didn't sign the franchise tender, so he isn't under contract. To rejoin the club, he could sign the $10.1 million franchise tag or agree to a modified 1-year salary. And it looks like this is going to happen soon, and why wouldn't it? God, the Raiders, just the one really good player that they definitely have that they didn't extend turned out to have one of the best years in the league. I mean, God, there's always going to be an element of, you got to be kidding me, Raiders, attached to the Raiders and everything that they do. Well, look, they might be 4th place in their own division with Josh Jacobs, but they're definitely going to be 4th place in their own division without him. So that's a player that you want to get in. You know, Josh McDaniel, if the Raiders are going to do anything this year, it's going to be with overwhelming offense. And he would be a part of that. He led the league last season with over 1,600 rushing yards, over 2,000 yards from the line of scrimmage with 12 touchdowns. He also had 5 games with 140 rushing yards and at least 1 touchdown last year, which is the most in the NFL by a wide margin. He really proved himself to be an unbelievably skilled, talented, gifted player. And he thought that it was going to mean, multiple year deal for him. But he found out, like so many running backs have found out, that you are going to get screwed. You are just standing in the wrong line to get paid well in the NFL these days. And that's just kind of the way it goes. It stinks to be a running back, although word is getting a little bit better, maybe for Josh Jacobs in Indianapolis, and we'll get there in just a second. But let me tell you right now, a deep thanks are to be offered to my sponsors. Let's start with Ike's. If you're looking for a great sandwich today, you will find it at Ike's. You will find 2 premium specialty sandwiches, which are magnificent, the Arrow and the Florin. One is a Wagyu pastrami, 3rd pound of Wagyu pastrami sandwich that is just delicious, and the vegetarian sandwich that is the Florin is the biggest fugazi vegetarian sandwich I've ever tasted. Like, it really tastes like there's meat on there. It's fantastic. It is delicious. I suggest you check out both while you can. They're available for a limited time. So go ahead and get yourself to Ike's. Go ahead and get yourself to Uncle Boy's. When you're in the inner rich and you're thinking about, cheeseburger time, what should I do? Get yourself to Uncle Boy's. Get the lumpia, get the onion rings. You're going to be happy that you did. You're supporting a San Francisco original, a small business. So get yourself to Uncle Boy's. They will treat you right. And speaking about getting treated right, pick yourself up a bottle of Blackened, baby. Delicious whiskey at an approachable price point for the quality of whiskey that you're getting. It's one of the best deals in the liquor world as far as I'm concerned. Go to Bevmo. You'll find it there. Wherever you shop for your liquor, if they're not carrying Blackened, ask them to. Tell them, hey, man, I'm a loyal pluser. I will pick this up. If you carry it, they'll carry it. You'll pick it up. Everybody goes home happy, and you go home with a delicious bottle of whiskey. So you go ahead, you check that all out. You'll be happy that you did. Take care of me. Support the channel. Support the station. Well, it's not a station. It's a channel. Support this, The Plus, by supporting the sponsors. It means an awful lot to me. All right. So let's get to what the thumbnail suggested we would be talking about today. And this is going to be one of the shorter shows of the week because we're not going to sit here and try to put the cigarette out in the middle of the Giants' forehead right now. But that's kind of what it feels like they're almost doing themselves. Kyle Harrison Day for the San Francisco Giants is finally here. He's, as promised, a prospect, certainly a pitching prospect, as I can remember. Like, anything less than 4 or 5 really good innings out of him today is going to feel like a little bit of a disappointment, and the nail that just goes in the closing coffin on this team's real chance to fancy itself a contender. There have been sobering results offered by Texas, by Tampa, by the Braves, and last night was just a terrible game for the Giants in Philadelphia where their defense fell apart and it just all looked bad. I mean, it really did. It looked bad. The Giants have won only 4 games since being swept by the A's in a 2-game series that started all the way back when we were celebrating Plus Mania 1 together at Victory Hall. They've only won 4 games since we were hanging out together at Victory Hall. That feels like it was a while ago now. They have tumbled back to just 5 games above 500 due to this stretch that they're in. They're now a dozen games back of the first-place Dodgers in the National League West. Things are not going well. All I can tell you is that you shouldn't be giving up many inside-the-park home runs. Like, in a season, if you give up 1, it feels like you've given up a lot of inside-the-park home runs. These are things that you only see every couple of years. I've seen a couple of inside-the-park home runs by the Giants and their ham-handed outfielders who don't know even how to play the wall in their own home ballpark because they're bringing up, Wade Meckler, who last night was just an adventure in Philadelphia's outfield. I mean, he was having trouble barehanding balls, picking them up, hitting the relay guy. Just Wade Meckler, he's not going to be the solution, right? I mean, the Giants are a team of moving parts. And when a team of moving parts meets a real contender, that team of moving parts is usually moved into the not good enough portion of Major League Baseball's heat map. And that's what's happening with the Giants. They are clearly not good enough to hang with the big boys in Major League Baseball. A series here, a surprise there. Sure, that's how baseball works. But an actual us against you over the course of a 3, 5, 7-game series, just, man, they are coming up short at the wrong time. And so here comes, again, Kyle Harrison, right? The third rounder from De La Salle. He just turned 22 years old. He makes his major league debut tonight as the Giants are just having as bad of a stretch as they've had in their season. So, you know, they got him going against a good Philadelphia team. Starting him on the road just feels like the wrong time to go about doing it in a year that, as long as a baseball season is, to choose this moment in time to bring him up and get him going on the road against a lineup that is heating up in a very hitter-friendly park. I don't know why you do that. That feels like the weirdest way to introduce this guy to actual major league action. You could have gotten him a start at home. But the Giants have managed themselves into this desperate situation by being so inactive at the trade deadline, by being so incapable of adding true offseason major league talent. And they're all banged up at the wrong time. And the young guys that you were feeling good about are either gone, and so you're not feeling any way about them, or they're still here and they're not really producing, so you're not feeling as good as you used to. It's a bad time for the Giants. But here comes Kyle Harrison. What if I told you that his numbers outside of his strikeouts, where he's got 109 Ks in 67 and 2/3 innings, they've been babying him. He's only got 67 innings, but he's got a 4.52 ERA over the course of 67 and 2/3 innings in the minor league. That's not great shakes. He's got good strikeout numbers. He's striking out 9.5 per 9 innings. But this guy gives up runs. He does. His whip, like, you know, oh man, we're got to call him up. He's ready to go. Well, what's his whip? His whip is a 1.478. Like, nothing eye-popping about that. So Kyle Harrison's got a really big bill to fill. He's got a ton of expectations about him. We'll see what he looks like. His major league debut is tonight, and good luck, kid. You're going to be facing off against one of baseball's winningest pitchers with 13 wins on the year. Taijuan Walker going for the Phillies tonight. All right. Good luck. Hopefully you don't have the adventure that is Wade Meckler kicking it around in center field for you. Jeez. All right. It's not just a James Bond film, but never say never. Never say never again. It's really good advice. Like, I don't care how high on your haunches you think you're sitting or how much juice and money you got. When you start talking in absolutes, you're going to find yourself proven wrong more often than proven right. You know, the world is not black and white. It's a big gray area. And never say never. And that even includes you, Jim Irsay. Did you see the story that multiple reports have surfaced from Indianapolis after saying they're never going to trade running back Jonathan Taylor? They've told Taylor and his agent, you go ahead, you seek a trade, and we might accommodate you if you bring one back to us that we think we like. Odds are the Dolphins at 2-1 on the leaderboard in Las Vegas to be the trading partner for Jonathan Taylor. When you think about what Mike McDaniel's trying to add, man, you get Jonathan Taylor on a team with real weapons like Tyreek Hill. All of a sudden, the Dolphins get scarier if that were to happen. The Bears are going off at 5-2. The Bills are 5-1. The Ravens are 7-1. The Broncos are 8-1. The Cowboys are 8-1. Commanders are 10-1. Buccaneers and Vikings 14-1, Eagles 20-1. Jonathan Taylor, you know what he should be? You know a team that could really use Jonathan Taylor? The Indianapolis Colts. But again, The NFL's not paying running backs these days, and everybody's got hard feelings and angry about it. And whatever meeting Jim Irsay and Jonathan Taylor had, that was not a good one. That did not go well. Let's see what we also got. Here's a little news saying that Baker Mayfield has officially been named the Buccaneers starting quarterback. Okay, that's officially interesting because let's be honest about where Baker Mayfield is in his career. It is either about to be reborn and realized in this situation, or the beginning of the end is officially starting a TikTok for Baker Mayfield. This is a guy who was the number one pick of the 2018 draft. The Browns obviously said thanks for the memories. He's had stints with the Rams and the Panthers. He did beat out 2021 second-round pick Kyle Trask for the Buccaneers starting job, but they're going to be an adventure this year. They have not come out of the post-Tom Brady era feeling particularly ready to contend and move on from that moment in time. ESPN said Mayfield signed with the Buccaneers this offseason on a one-year deal worth $4 million with incentives that could push it up to $8.5 million. The hope is that he can get his career back on track while helping the cash-strapped Bucs avoid a major drop-off after Brady's retirement. So Baker Mayfield, this is your life. I mean, I was hearing Colin Cowherd basically doing a segment, which was easy on the surface to disagree with. But really, when you think about it, like his whole point was if Baker Mayfield can't beat out Kyle Trask, like it could be time for Baker Mayfield to just retire. Like it's not happening, dude. As a starting quarterback in this league, if you can't beat out Kyle Trask, who are you? So he beat out Kyle Trask, and he is the Buccaneers starting quarterback. Another football story from Ann Arbor says that Jim Harbaugh is about to miss the first 3 Michigan games of the season with a self-imposed ban. Look, all I can tell you is that it's pretty obvious that Michigan has been drifting into the lane of up to no good with a few Jim Harbaugh hires and decisions. And again, he had a computer scam that was being tracked right back to Schembechler Hall and even Schembechler's grandson. Jim Harbaugh is on the edge of maybe doing something wrong to the point where the NCAA is saying, we're going to come down hard here if you don't start doing a little something. And Michigan tried to play that, we're going to appeal. We don't think you really got this. And the NCAA said, no, you don't want to mess with this. So after saying he won't take a self-imposed ban, the Michigan Wolverines have rethought everything. They've done the math once again on how much trouble they could be in. And what do you know? Jim Harbaugh, 3-game self-imposed ban. He just feels like he's going to be back in the NFL before you know it. He almost feels like a little buyer's remorse that he stuck around maybe Michigan 1 year too long. And this is that year. Not great when it comes to Jim Harbaugh. Also, another story from Big Ten country, which, let's face it, Chicago's in Big Ten country. This is not a Big Ten story, though, but it's a big-time okey doke from Jerry Reinsdorf, who, once a decade, you got a Jerry's considering maybe moving story. And here we go again. Here we go again. Guaranteed Rate Field, which is the park that was New Comiskey when it was built. And upon the day it opened, much like Levi's Stadium, everyone agreed this is about as bad of an architectural decision as you could make. And it only got worse the subsequent years it was open, because right after the White Sox built their ballpark, the throwback ballpark boom began, where everyone realized you don't want anything modern. You want something that pays tribute to the past and the way ballparks used to be. So they totally blew it. The White Sox built a shit ballpark that they can tweak and change around and sort of upgrade as often as they want to. That place sucks. That place sucks, and it's in a neighborhood that also sucks, on a part of Chicago that has gotten more bad publicity for Chicago than any other part of any city. City has basically picked up bad publicity for any part of any other city. Ugh. Oh, by the way, the White Sox suck out loud. So there's not a lot of good feeling on the south side of Chicago. And again, the last modern stadium built before baseball started putting up throwback stadiums, it's sort of like the Levi Stadium architectural engineering that has followed it. Like, they'll never build another stadium like Levi Stadium ever again in the NFL because nobody wants that now that they've seen the new shit. So, 49ers blew it. The White Sox blew it. And even though the 49ers aren't moving anywhere anytime soon, Jerry Reinsdorf is saying, all right, well, maybe it is time for us to move on. Is he talking about another location in Chicago? Is he putting the suburbs on the table now that the Bears have officially put Arlington on the table, which is going to ruin the Bears in so many ways if that actually happened? Nashville has come up in conversation. Look, all I can tell you, A's fans, if Jerry Reinsdorf threw his hat into the Nevada ring, Nevada would be smart to pivot off the A's and get to the White Sox as fast as humanly possible. Seriously. As much as Jerry Reinsdorf totally sucks, he does not suck as bad as John Fisher does. So maybe he could prevent the A's from moving to Las Vegas. Look, all I can tell you is that the White Sox playing anywhere but Chicago seems like baseball blasphemy and almost impossible to imagine happening. But if it can prevent the A's from leaving, I'm all for it. Screw the White Sox. I guess the last story I got for you today, again, I told you I'm never going to waste your time. I'm never going to drag you through an attempt to pull you through an hour of content when it's sort of a slow news day. And outside of Kyle Harrison and waiting for football and waiting for Bosa, it's kind of a slow news day. Wander Franco may never be wandering into a major league clubhouse again with the trouble that he seems to be in. Jeff Passan is reporting that the Tampa Bay Rays have placed Wander Franco now officially on administrative leave by Major League Baseball amid multiple investigations into his alleged relationships that he had with underage girls back in the Dominican Republic. The 22-year-old Franco, who missed this past week after the A's placed him on a restricted list, is being investigated by the Dominican police as well as baseball's Department of Investigations. And it's all signs are pointing to this ain't good. Franco is in the second year of an 11-year, $182 million contract, and he was in the midst of a breakout season. I mean, the Tampa Bay Rays have never seen a younger player that they've bet more or harder on than Wander Franco. And he rewarded them by hitting a 281, 344, 475 slash line with 17 home runs and 30 stolen bases and was named an all-star for the first time in his career this year. And he may have allegedly is being investigated into sleeping with underage women. Woof. That ain't good. So, you know, you want to talk about bright young careers that might be dashed before they really even get going. That's one to look at. That is one to look at, and that officially is not good. Are you ready to hop into Club Plus today and just get going, just get rolling over there? I hope you are. I got a little bit of a lunch date that I got to get to today. I'm glad it's a slow news day. I got big things going on. Look at, I did the hair. I shaved. It's a collared shirt. Ho-ho. Something's happening. Tyler says, send Meckler back down today. Well, let me send all of you into Club Plus. If you're listening on the podcast, I thank you so very much for doing that. And please do remember, before you come back tomorrow, hopefully again for more Damon Bruce Plus, and sports don't build character, they reveal it. And like that, whew, he's gone. Yeah. Oh, what do you know? Delicious whiskey right on my shoulder. Yeah. Let's see. I guess a lot of people were had their places Placing bets on an over for the sip of the day today came in way under. Hope there wasn't too much money changing hands last night or this morning over the sip of the day. Last night, though, Luke 24-23 is right. That blast by Schwarber was ridiculous. That thing, go Hoosiers, by the way. That got out fast and loud. There is no doubt. No doubt. Again, the Giants are just trying to get away with positional versatility, platooning, starter, opener, murder, and it's catching up with them right as they're starting to see these real good teams on their schedule. There's no coincidence that the way they think baseball works doesn't work against real contenders. And that's a lesson that Farhan better be writing down. You know, is he taking notes here? Is he seeing how, you know, the platooning and the piecing it all together works for a little while during your regular season, but once you start playing big boys shit on this model? Tyler, thank you very much. He wants Meckler sent down. He wants all of you to smash that like button. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Oh, look at this. Aiden O'Connell love coming through from Luke 24-23. We've also got True Blue Forever saying, Jimmy just wins, baby. We'll see what he looks like in a Raiders uniform. It's going to be a fascinating little experiment to run, isn't it? What is Jimmy outside of Kyle's offense? It's going to be really interesting to see the results there. Fish and Chip says, what is that image on the thumbnail today? That's the scene where they open the Ark in Raiders of the Lost Ark and Nazi faces start to melt, just like the Giants are melting. Nazis melt in the face of the Ark the way the Giants melt in the face of better competition. So that's what it is. Again, we got to get you caught up on some Americana there, Fish and Chips. I know you're just an Englishman living over in jolly old London town, but get yourself to Raiders of the Lost Ark as fast as possible. Come on. Drew Down talking about Ikes. We have the meats. Real and fake. They really do. Like, I couldn't believe it. I even picked the meat out of the sandwich and ate it on my own, thinking, is this being disguised with like Godfather sauce and all sorts of things? And like, how does it stand up on its own? It almost would have gotten me. It would have gotten me. I got to admit it. Even Luke is all over this Club Plus today. All right, I'm going to order the veggie sandwich now. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. It's good. Talking about Uncle Boys, get yourself a Cowboy Burger. Rockin' New Era 84. He was nice enough to go ahead and give them a little bit of business. I appreciate that. Chef A. Hello, Chef A. Good to see you as always. Again, Irwin, spreading the word. Spreading the word. Blackened is delicious. It is. True Blue Forever, he's right about this. The florin is the Kaiser Sose sandwiches. You think that that's just a limping, lame, gimpy veggie sandwich, then you take a bite of it and all of a sudden, geez, they're starting to walk a lot smoother, aren't they? And wait a minute, they're just lighting a cigarette with a Zippo. I didn't think that was going to happen. That's what the florin is. It really is. It's the Kaiser Sose. Louis says, I'm going to get some blackened tonight for the very first time. Excited. That makes me excited. You're going to like that an awful lot. Fantastic. Lumpia and onion ring. You know it. Tyler saying, let's fucking go. Kyle Harrison. Let's see what he's got. Tiger Tanko 6. What kind of whiskey is blackened? Is it single malt, bourbon? Well, like so many whiskeys, it's a blend, but it is there is a rye called Ride the Lightning. There are a few cask conditioned bottles and some specialty strengths that are out there. I would suggest that you just start your blackened adventure right here with just a bottle of blackened. Just pick up the OG bottle of blackened, see what you think. Once you like it, you can start dabbling in the rest of the blackened world that is offered to you. All right, what do we got? Drew Downs said, hey, but Dave Fleming said that they should have taken 2 from 3 from Atlanta, so things are looking up. Yeah, hey, there's a lot of things that should have happened. You should have traded for more than A.J. Pollock. You should have landed a better free agent class. You should do something other than just try to manage a team through the prism of Farhan's abacus. There's a lot of things that should be happening. Otis Bird III, exactly, man. 2 inside the park home runs in 1 week. If that doesn't show you got some just Johnny Slapdick out there in the outfield, I mean, good Lord. 2 home runs in one inside the park home runs in 1 week. I don't think I've ever seen that before in all the years I've been watching. And I've been watching a lot of baseball, a lot of bad baseball. I grew up a Cubs fan. Hard to hit an inside the park home run at Wrigley Field. But it's hard to hit inside the park home runs basically anywhere unless you got outfielders just misplaying the crap out of the ball, which Giants outfielders have been doing. Dude, Meckler's giving it up. And you're right about this. It may be going too fast for Meckler. He's going too fast. I mean, he's overrunning balls that he should just pick up in the outfield. He's uncomfortable. I guess that's almost the best that you could do for Kyle Harrison tonight. Wouldn't it be great if he just takes the mound and he looks comfortable and he's not overwhelmed out there? Again, if I had to think of where would I want this young man to start his career? Against a team that is now past us for the wild card in a hitter's ballpark, or do I want to put him in one of the best pitcher ballparks in the world, which is your home ballpark, and start him in front of a friendly crowd and a lesser opponent? Far be it from me to question the great Farhan, but it's really easy to question the way the Giants go about their business sometimes. It really is. Eric Hernandez says inside the park home runs are like catcher's interference. Rarely, if ever, should it happen. Remember how often that was happening with Joey Bart? And then again, you get Blake Sable behind the plate. He's just not. He's a better outfielder than he is a catcher. Drew Down says, you call A.J. Pollock inactive? Look, the only thing I want to call A.J. Pollock is designated for assignment. He shouldn't get another at-bat in a Giants uniform. I'd rather have Wade Meckler out there. I swear to God. I'd rather see Wade Meckler out there because at least that guy's got a little promise, hopefully, in front of him still in his career, where all the promise of A.J. Pollock's career has completely, that sand has run out of the hourglass. Come on. Indeed. Irwin pays close attention. Chef A, your brownies got major props yesterday, glowing about them. Again, look, all I can tell you, they weren't even brownies. They were like a brittle, a chocolate, nutty, toffee brittle. It was really, really good. Chef A could start wrapping those and selling them. She could retire on those alone. The key to it is it wasn't uber sweet. Still had some bitter in it. So it nailed all those flavor notes that you're looking to see nailed in a chocolate caramelly treat. Again, Kyle Harrison's whip, not great. Watch me whip. Watch Drew down, Nene. Thank you very much. Baron Red, whip it. Whip it good. I think Farhan knew that this team was barely above 500, thus now his actions at the trade deadline. Again, here's the thing. Even if that's true, then where are the kids? How come the kids that you brought up who were all overachieving at one point, as soon as they cooled off, you sent them all back down? So you're trying to win, right? And just a few weeks ago, you're 10 games over 500. Now you're 5 games over 500. Again, all the signs that you're looking for from a team, from a winning standpoint, from where you are in your division standpoint, from where you are in the wild card standing standpoint, all the signs were there. Like, it doesn't matter if you don't want to go for it. You kind of need to. And I'm not saying sell the future, but do something better than AJ freaking Pollock, man. Maker Bayfield. Thank you. Are running backs the radio jocks of the NFL? Fish and chips, if you want to talk about underappreciated, underpaid, I can think of one. I can think of one for sure. Faker Mayfield. What do we got here today? Drew Down saying Cowherd. Trey sucked. I mean, I didn't watch the game, but yeah, no. So look, I think Colin Cowherd's upset that Trey Lance might have banged his daughter. I think they were dating for a minute there, and then they're not anymore. So Colin Cowherd has turned on Trey Lance. Oh, look at Mrs. Bruce. Thanks for tuning in today. Please hit that like button. Share it with your friends. Indeed. Tell your friends about this, what we're doing over here. We got a cool little club that we have built from nothing. Just a small handful of months. We're over 7,000 subscribers. Football season is going to bring a lot more people into the tent. And let me just tell you, all of you, I know who you are. I know you day oneers like the back of my hand. I'll recognize you and I will thank you until I am drawing my last breath. Thank you for being here. But it's time to bring even more people into the tent. And that's what football does, baby. I'm looking for it. Erwin, congratsing Jillian. And look, she absolutely deserves it. That's why she's going to be co-hosting our 100th show on Thursday. And we're going to tell you kind of all that we've been through, how we've gotten to this point, how we made it to this point, how we're going to encourage other people who are going to find themselves in situations like I found myself in as we're watching a shifting, changing media landscape like never before. There's going to be more people like me than unlike me soon. You can just feel it coming. So we are hopefully going to be, sort of a beacon of hope, because when you get laid off, man, it's a scary place to be operating from. And I know that there are a lot of people who are watching, who are listening, who this happened to you too. Didn't happen to your radio career, but whatever career you had, whatever job you were good at, all of a sudden you found yourself out of work. From a cost-cutting standpoint only. And that is a scary, scary place to be. We were just there. In many ways, we are still there. We're working our way out of it. And if we can help anyone else get out of it, we're going to try to spread the good word. So come on by on Thursday. Shush says, look, man, I'm a South Sider. And it's hard to defend the Comiskey area. It is. Look, it's always been a little bit of a hurdle that is certainly done wrong by some careless reporting about the dangers of South Side of Chicago. Also, the South Side of Chicago has done very poorly to represent itself well in the media. but it's also a talking point that people love to point at. But look, the problem with the White Sox is the neighborhood stinks, but not as much as that ballpark does, and the team also sucks. So when everything starts going wrong and attendance starts dwindling, that's when Jerry always looks to itch that scratch that is, maybe it's time to relocate or sell the team or move the team or do something different. You can set your watch by this. Every 4 or 5 years, Jerry does this bullshit. What do we got here? Levi's is ranked 12th. It's hilarious. They had nothing to say about it. I don't know what ranked 12th of what? 12th best stadium in football? Levi Stadium's not even its 12th best stadium in its own division. Again, they went from the 4th best stadium in their own division to the 4th best stadium in their own division. Here we go. FJF, 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 FJF. I mean, you can set your watch by it. I just bring up the man's name and it happens. Nice job, everybody. Kathy says, Damon loves the Cubbies. Well, look, I certainly used to. Certainly used to. They've bothered me in so many different ways that my love for the Cubbies isn't nearly where it used to be. I hate their owner. I hate what they did to Wrigley Field. They've had a better than anyone thought season, though. How about Bellinger? I mean, he's proof positive, man, that baseball is the ultimate there one day, gone the next sport. That guy went from rookie of the year, MVP, totally forgot how to hit, to he's got one of the best averages in all of baseball again. The sport's nuts. Kathy, always good to see you. I hope that you got the Plus stickers that we mailed to you. We did send them. I hope that you got them. AJ Cruz saying, Damon's never going to give us up, never going to let us down. I'm never going to run around or desert you. Let's see. What do we got? Waiting for Bosa. Ernie Chavez is saying Franco's going to jail. It feels like that's in the cards, okay? I mean, it really does. Paul, thank you very much. Go Damon in the Plus. I appreciate that, Paul. Go you, wherever you're going today. I hope you get there. And now the Rays are never going to pay a young player ever again. The skills report. Look, I don't know about that, but boy, you know, when you make a bet like that on a young player, you got to know an awful lot more about him than obviously the Rays knew. You got to do some investigatory journalism, if you will. James Foster. They're going to rake against Walker tonight. Jacques is getting hot. Okay. I hope you're right. Again, look, if they come out and they win convincingly tonight with Kyle Harrison being at the forefront of it, a lot of people are going to start feeling good. It's going to be a dauber up. If Kyle Harrison gets lit up in that bandbox of a ballpark by Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber and company, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good, and the dauber down is going to feel like it's more down than it's even been in losses to the Braves and the Rays. Like tonight's an important game for just how the season feels. Nav is saying Bosa is in New York at his agent's office. Deal getting done this week. Hey, that deal should have been done last week. Do it. Get it good. Ernie dropping a Bruce looking good. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Another polo shirt, Damon. Look, it's a good brand for me. It's a brand that I trust. Damon, why do you like polo? It's because I can buy one and I can wear it for years before I have to go get a new one. I don't like new shopping. I hate shopping. You get one of these, it holds its form, it holds its shape. Me and Ralph Lauren, we go way back. Dante Wiley, good to see you in here, brother. Always good to see your name. D. Bruce is a legend. Dante Wiley, you're a legend. Come on, man. From YouTube. Yeah, look, they have been absolutely restricting Kyle Harrison's work. Kyle Harrison's not going to throw more than 75 pitches today. He only pitched 5 innings once in 2023 with 81 pitches. Thinking 5 innings from him is expecting a lot from the Giants and him. Well, here's the deal. You're going to need some of these starters to put some starting innings up when you're burning through your bullpen every single time I look up. You know, you can't bring up your top pitching prospect and just, baby him by default. The whole point was the babying in the minor league should have been preparing him for this point and moment, right? I don't give a damn about minor league innings or workload. This is the big leagues. If that kid is throwing well and he's in the 4th, he's in the 5th inning, and he's playing well, I don't want to hear shit about a pitch count. Keep him in there. Giants need to start winning games. We'll go get them tomorrow. They're running out of that. They're running out of, we'll go get them tomorrow. They got to start winning today. Sorry for having big expectations for the top prospect in the organization. God forbid, right? Dante says, whatever happened to my guy McJiggy? He's doing great. He's in Denver, and I'm going to tell you right now, he's coming out here, and he's going to stay with me and Jillian the week that the 49ers are playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think those are the games he's got tickets to. So we're going to do a show right here together. We're going to have my man McBride slip on in. Oh, and speaking of slipping in, how about my man Andy Finn slipping a 20 twin into the ganja jar? Thank you very much. Yeah, the official brother of Sports Phone is the official brother of the Plus. I can tell you that. Chef A, again, she's outfit tracking me. Damon upgraded his polo smooth shirt to a knitted collar polo. Fancy. Again, I got a lunch. I got a thing to do. That smooth shirt. Those are called T-shirts, by the way. The smooth shirt. Sporticus. Wander Franco learning that you need to use your north brain in a hard, permanent way. North brain. South brain down there. All I can tell you is that if you have the kind of money that Wander Franco has, you can have whatever sexual picadillo you might have filled in a discreet, won't get in trouble for it kind of way. And I'm not talking about sleeping with underage women. That's despicable and disgusting on every level. But all you need to do is line them all up in Las Vegas or in a brothel and just go bonkers. Like, how could you get in trouble chasing Dominican girls around? What are you, a moron? I mean, God almighty. What the hell these kids thinking? By the way, watching the JT O'Sullivan breakdown of Darnold and Lance, very enlightening. Yeah, his channel, Quarterback School, is really good. I suggest you check it out. I have subscribed, and I would hope that you might subscribe to this little channel right here. What a world we live in. M is for Marion. What a world we live in where JTO is providing pretty good quarterback analysis. Look, here's the deal. The guys who were on the edges of career, who required the most coaching, the most film study, there's a reason why it's rare great players become great coaches. You usually need a little bit more of a workhorse in their career. This is why I think Steve Kerr is a really good NBA head coach, because he understood that bench life. He understood the on the margins of a roster more than he understood superstardom. A nerd for all seasons. I've had Ikes for 3 days running on impulse because I'm a sucker for advertising. That's what I'm talking about. That means it's working, baby. Logan Webb sandwich is goated. I'm telling you, the Logan Webb is delicious. Get yourself a Damon Bruce, get a Jamie Sirewich, and try the Florin. Try that new vegetarian sandwich. I'm telling you, it's freaking amazing. I love the Wagyu pastrami one too, but the Florin is just, again, it shocked me so much. It was so much better than I thought it could possibly be. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. I'm genetically predisposed to despise anything that is vegetarian. Like I even look down on crudité. I really do. I'm like, what, no salami over here? Lynn Kelly, good afternoon, everyone. Well, good afternoon, Lynn. It is really good to see you. And again, Stacy saying, Andy Finn, there you go. Thank you very much for the jingle jangle. Fill up that ganja jar, and thank you, Andy, very, very much. Hey, you can't argue with this. Wade Meckler has the same initials as Willie Mays. Just throwing it out there. See, Tom, I wasn't even thinking about that. I'm glad that you brought that angle in today. It should be just a matter of time before he becomes one of the greatest baseball players of all time. Whips and chains excite me. Shout out Rihanna. Thank you, Drew Down. Drew feeling a little spicy today. Oh, man. And you're right. Colin, definitely. Absolutely. Because of the you used to date my daughter situation. Erwin says, Damon, could you talk a little bit more about the planned relaunch and what that entails? Well, here's what it entails. It's going to entail the first offering of memberships. It is going to entail the first offering of a website that we're working on. It's going to entail a new graphic that will begin and end each and every show and kind of take my Godzilla kicking over Sutro Tower to a new level. It's going to include more guests, better content, and it's going to include football. So we're excited. Please cover the Raiders. Look, when the Raiders deserve to make the show, they'll make the show. You go ahead, you tell a friend, you tell the whole damn world. D. Bruce on the Plus is happening again. Thank you very much, Luke. You've been all over today's chat. I appreciate it. I am Rob707. Plus, Luce, thank you. Leslie, good to see you back in here. Thank you very much. Maximum Football, you get another one. And I would agree with this. Damon covers a lot of Raiders for a team that left the Bay. Yeah, look at it this way. They're still a football team, and they got Jimmy, so there's the link there. I was just at Allegiant Stadium. That place is awesome. So, there are some interesting elements of the Raiders, and I tell you, they're kind of getting their acts together a little bit. They really are. They're Aiden O'Connell's interesting. And I don't like saying that, a Purdue guy, but I'll tell you, what's going on with him? There's something going on there. Drew Down had a Fetty Wap cover band. It started off hot, but it fizzled quickly. Thank you. Again, we're trying to fulfill requests. Are you ready? Maximum. There you go, Shush. Hope you like it. Damon, do you still have the John Dickinson song? No, that was never my song to take with me. That wasn't mine. Fish and Chip says, Plus Army, be on your best behavior for Jillian on Thursday. I'm going to tell you right now, my wife has partied harder than half of you, so you don't need to be all coy around her. Jillian's got a pair of brass knuckles, and she'll throw them with the best of them. My wife's got squabbles in her. JJ Raider saying, sorry I'm late. I actually had to work today. It's all right. We'll forgive you, especially watching over on Twitch. One of our Twitch viewers, all 6 of you. Good to have you in here. Hey, 10-cent beer night could fix Comiskey. Yeah, until the riot begins. You're right about that. Where will Bellinger sign next year and for how much? Look at it this way. He's having the kind of year that means the Cubs aren't just going to let him walk away. I mean, they might really want to go ahead and bring him back. He's having a monster year for them. Again, could have absolutely had that guy in San Francisco, but Farhan said, no, don't want to do that. Question from Iceman. 0072. Have you watched the Arnold documentary? No, but it's on the list of things to do. Jillian and I have one more episode of the American Gladiators Netflix limited series to get through, and then I think we're going Arnold. I'm enjoying the American Gladiator thing, though. I used to love that show. Yosarian says, hey, I'm just here for that thumbnail. Don't look, Marion. Don't look. That's what I'm talking about. I think Damon and Farhan and Gabe would have a hard time getting along. Here's the thing. They would have a hard time answering some of my questions. Getting along, I've never not gotten along with someone. We can all get along. But if I'm going to need a little bit of truth here as we start talking about some of the decisions that you've made over your course as a general manager, and I'm going to wonder, when are your balls ever going to drop and you start getting some big boys in here? All right. All right. Well, like I said, what time is it? Oh, it's almost noon here. Well, I didn't think we were going to go an hour today, but we did go an hour today after all. Let's see. Any final? How about this? There is my man. Oy, oy, oy. He's going to pop into Legends Pizza today. The postman in Capitola dropping a couple of bones in the ganja jar. Thank you very much, postman. Appreciate that. Crudite ruined Dr. Oz's career. I didn't even know that. I don't know what happened to Dr. Oz, his career, or how Crudite was involved. People all do get excited about maximum football. That does make me happy. I want to give you the things that are going to make you happy. What about the Maximum Ratto Hour? Hey, we asked Ray to come in this week. He said he couldn't do it. When I said, when do you think you can do it? He didn't exactly get back to me. So we'll figure out Ray eventually or not. I don't know. If there's one thing that I've officially learned through this entire experiment. Oh, is my blackened, dimmed for just a moment. Is that there ain't nobody coming to help us out. It's you, it's me, it's Jillian, it's the audience and us together. We will have some friends dip in and dip out, but the list of people that I thought would be like right there having my back, it's not nearly as long as I thought it would, but that's okay. Good to learn about these things. Sporticus is right. Feisty wife, happy life. Oh, I got a fighter. I got an absolute fighter. They may get perturbed with Damon. Stacy Leo. Good use of the word perturbed. Yeah, I might perturb Farhan and Gabe. All right. Well, there you go, boys and girls. I think we have had ourselves a fantastic show after all. I thank you very, very much for stopping on in today. It is really good to have you here. Don't you worry about any spammers or anything like that. I'm just telling you, ignore them all. All I can tell you is that they're dying for attention. So give them none. I thank you for your attention today. You all mean so very much to us over here. We will look at Kyle Harrison's Major League debut tonight. We'll have an Ohtani Tuesday a little bit later on for you. The Angels stink. He's still magnificent. And that's about all the time we have this afternoon. It's lunchtime. Hope you have a good one. Again, remember Ike's, remember Uncle Boys. Grab a little blackened for your nightcap for Kyle Harrison tonight. And please do remember, as you exit Club Plus in an orderly fashion, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.